What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J and we are locked in. This is episode 5 of American Horror Stories. I think it's pronounced Belial, something like that. But we know last week we had episode 4. This is a totally different episode. That was the naughty list. We had the boys in the bro house. Santa wasn't playing around with none of them. But before we get into this episode, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel and be a part of it, hit your subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. Now this week, we got us a little couple and they're trying to have a baby. And you know it's going to be hard because it's an American Horror Story. Nothing is ever easy in this series. So let's see how this family gets through this. This is episode 5 of American Horror Stories. We start the show off with our couple, Matt and Liv, and what they're trying to do is have a baby, but things just aren't working like they should. And the doctor's telling them we can keep trying, but I really don't think it's going to be successful. Now Liv, she's saying, well, it's my money. I'm going to go to another fertility clinic. We're going to figure this out. Now you're looking at Matt, and Matt's kind of chilling. He's just like, all right, doc, you say it isn't going to work. So he's thinking logically. He's supporting Liv at the same time, but he's like, all right, we got to spend more bread. We might not need no kid. But Liv, she's like, no, I want this baby. So Liv, she's telling the doctor, look, you may not know what you're talking about, but we're going to have this baby any way we can find a way to. And Matt, as they leave, he's like, look, we'll go to all the fertility clinics in Beverly Hills. Now I'm thinking Beverly Hills, just a consultation is going to be maybe $1,200, $1,500. And then actually go through the procedures, another like $5,000 on top of it. I'm like, man, hell no. But Liv, she wants this baby. And you know, when it's your lady, you're going to do what you need to do. There's a woman named Bernadette that works at this clinic here, and she's the one that schedules appointments. So Liv tells her, oh, I need an appointment for 2 months from now. And what she tells her is, I've watched you. You came in here, you've been strong. And in the process that you're going through, I know it's overwhelming, but I might have an idea that helps you. Since you've already tried everything else, how about trying? Bernadette says, here, try this. It's a fertility token. And what she's saying is you need to put this up under your bed. It's ancient. It's been around for years and decades. But you put this under your bed while you're having sex, and it helps you get pregnant. Liv is like, well, I tried everything else. Let me go ahead and try this. Now, if I'm Matt and I come in and I see, hey, whoa, what is this crap? No, we're not taking that home. We don't need this in the house. But Liv, she's got all kinds of emotions and stuff. So she's like, let me try this. You already know what time it is. We head straight to the house. We hop in this bed. And Matt, it seems like he's an actor. He's like, I finally got me a gig. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm not trying to hear none of that. She put this damn token up under the bed. She's like, let's get it on because I'm trying to have this baby. And I'm like, man, this little token or whatever it is going crazy because you got Matt on the bed. And she going wild on the boy. I'm like, hey, take it easy, baby. My hip ain't it like it used to be. We fast forward, they end up having a baby, and it's like, okay, good. Now listen to this. Matt, he's out, he's in movies, he's got a little role in NCIS. They also have a nanny. The nanny is like, oh, okay, my mom likes NCIS. I'm gonna tell my mom though, look out for Matt. Liv's gonna say, don't blink. Like, how you gonna hate on this man's role? It's a short role, but you gotta start somewhere. But that's neither here or there. That's just something I caught on. Like, damn, she hating on my boy. But she's like, man, my baby is hard to watch him because when I hold him, he just continues to cry and cry and cry. It's like he doesn't like me. And then he said, you're just a little too rough with her. Let me take him. Let me, let me calm him. Now Liv is down here. Why did I do this? The baby doesn't like me. It's such a mistake. Yeah, you think having a baby is fun until you have a baby. So, man. She's walking around the house. She goes back in the room and she looks up under the bed and she sees the little token. She's talking about, oh, I forgot about you. So this means they had sex, had the baby. At least 10 months. They never looked up under that bed or cleaned up under that bed to see this. Come on, y'all. Think about it. She looks at the doll and says, thank you, you little piece of ish. I should have threw you away in the trash. But instead of throwing it away in the trash, she puts it in a shoebox and puts it in the closet. So this little thing is still in the house. Even if you don't know that it's giving off bad energy or not, it's still in the house. Oh, I forgot about you. Like, get rid of this. That's why you got to let Matthew know what's going on in this house because Liv, she's doing her own thing and it's just reckless. Matt's hard at work. I'm talking about he's on the crime scene. He's on movie sets. He comes home with his face painted and he accidentally scares her. He didn't do it intentionally, but he's like, hey, I just wanted to be quiet. And plus, I got to go back to set in 2 hours. Now, she's like, man, I was just watching some commercials and stuff, Expedia, and I seen how kids may not like their parents. And Matt, he's trying to sit there. I know in his head he's thinking, like, what are you talking about? You just sit at the house and watch the kid. It can't be that hard. I'm actually getting up and going to work. I got to go back to work, and you're complaining to me about this kid. I know what he's going through. But he's just trying to sit there and console her and say, hey, everything you're listening to and hearing, that's not it. You know what I'm saying? It's just you're around the baby a lot. It's just going to take a little while, but you're going to get it. So he tells her, hey, my agent, he gives her a card and says, there's this therapist I want you to talk to. So she's saying, you saying I need therapy? No, I'm not saying you need therapy. I just want you to go talk to somebody that's been through a similar situation that you're going through so they can see what you're doing and they can give you information. But of course, she's defensive. Oh, I need therapy. I would have said, you need something. You can't watch a baby. You sit here all day. The baby's crying all day whenever I come home. Yeah, you need therapy. But that's just me and what was going on in my head if I was Matt. And Matt was like, nah, just please go hear her out. Talk to her. And maybe she can give you some helpful information. Later that night, she's looking at the baby monitor. She wakes up and looks, and there's a demon standing over the baby. So you know the first thing you do is you gotta go protect the baby. And when I mean go protect the baby, I mean kick in the door, turn the light on. She came in there with the iPad looking around like, hey, turn the light on so you can see what's going on in here. Your baby is in here. Like at this point, it doesn't matter if you wake the child up. If you see something like that, you got to get in there and protect the baby. She came in like she should have came in, hit the light, or if you're not going to turn the light in, came in and ran straight over to the crib and got the baby. She came in. She ain't no mother, y'all. She looks down at the monitor after surveying the room, and the demon is behind her. She turns around and he's gone. Now the baby's crying. At this point, I'm like, you know what? Nope. We leaving this house. It's over with. We're not going to be here no more. It's done. It's over with. After a disturbing night like that, she got her butt up and went to talk to that therapist. See, she was defensive at first until all that happened. Now she's like, oh, shoot, maybe I need to talk to somebody. But she goes there and she tells the therapist the same thing. I don't know if the baby hates me or not. And the therapist says this is called the pickle jar syndrome. I call it like the strawberry jelly, or you know what I'm saying, the jelly, because we didn't have no pickles at the house. But what she's saying is the baby will cry when she holds it, but as soon as Matt holds the baby, it'll stop crying. And the analogy is when a woman goes to try to open up a pickle jar, she can't get it, so the man comes in there and boop, pops it. It's that easy. So she's saying that might be one of the reasons the baby is like this. But the baby can also sense stress. So she's saying you got to be less stressful when around the child. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna try that. She took the meds from the doctor. Now everything is going good. She's bathing the child. He's not crying. He's actually, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, shoot, this lady cool. She ain't tripping and stressing no more. You know what I'm saying? I can be a good baby now. I don't have to cry and ruin her day. So she doing that. She laid the baby down. No issues. Just when you think things are starting to get better, she goes into the baby's room because he starts, he wakes up a little bit, kind of hungry. Go in there. This demon has wings on it and horns now. So it's evolving from what it was initially. And she's like, man, what is this? She goes down to the nanny and says, did you put this in the baby's bed? And the nanny is like, wow, why would I put that in the bed? After that, the daddy's like, you know what? Whoa, wait a minute. That's kind of scary. I quit. I'm out of here. I'm just going to dip. Live being live. She hears some noise, so she goes over to the vent. She's like, wait, is it coming from downstairs? And y'all know how I feel about basements. Anytime we're in a horror movie, the basement is the first place you don't go, the attic, and then the kitchen. Those are the three most deadliest spots in a house. The basement, the attic, the kitchen. Remember that. And she's going down here in Givenchy. I'm talking about all white Givenchy slip-ons. Okay. She down here meaning business. If we're going to get killed, we're going to get killed in fashion. While she's down there, it looks like the ventilation shaft is all clawed up. There's claws on the wall. In my head, I'm thinking, damn, it's going to cost a lot of money to get this fixed. But in her head, she's probably thinking, this is a monster. I'm like, man, I just did this movie. Got $10,000. I got to spend $9,000 on the ventilation. Matt gets home, another long day at work just to get home to find out that Liv, all she has to do is take care of a kid. And they had a nanny until she got the nanny fired by accusing her of putting the devil in the baby's crib. So Matt, he's very frustrated. He's trying to be calm, like, hey, I just think you're tired, you're overworking yourself, which I have no idea how the hell she's overworking herself with a nanny and watching an infant. It's not that hard. I used to watch my nephews, and I was a 19-year-old kid watching them. It's not that hard to take care of kids, especially if you got a nanny. Jeez Louise. Now, after all this time, she finally decides to Google it. She Googles the fertility guide, and she looks and she sees it. She's like, oh man, maybe there's something bad with the one that I got. But at this point, whenever you Google something, you always jump to the extreme. Like, you looking up, what are my symptoms? You like, oh man, damn, this could be the worst. But that's how it is when she was looking up this, especially with everything that's going on in the house. Now, she did all this research, and she recorded what was going on in the baby room off of the little tablet. And what she's doing is she's trying to slow it down and speed it up and trying to hear what that noise is. Now, Matt, he's talking about all that is static. That's all I heard was static. But she's like, you can't tell me these aren't words. There's words in this. So Matt comes over with the therapist, and he's trying to get the therapist to, hey, could you please calm her down or something, man? She's really wilding out at the house. And she's over here, she's putting in work. I'm talking about, I didn't even know she had this kind of software. She got the Bose wireless noise cancellation on. She got that MacBook. She's over here putting in work for real. And the therapist is telling her, what's really going on is your mind is processing things. You start tricking yourself into believing things are happening. And that's common. So I understand where Liv is coming from on this. But they're like, hey, breathe. In the nose, out the mouth. 'Cause you wilding out in this house, girl. So Liv, she's listening to it. She's thinking, maybe I am overdoing it a little bit. So she finally starts to take the pills that were issued to her. Now, depending on what the pills are for, I'm not really a big pill person. I mean, I take pills for pain and stuff and to help go to sleep, but pills to monitor my emotions, I don't think I would take any of those. Things seem like they're going a little bit better. Matt got some people from his cast over, Liv, she's there, and they just chilling. They popping bottles, doing toast and everything. And they're all just sitting here and they're talking and celebrating their accomplishments. But hey, we got a little, just a little get together. We're going to have a game night. Somebody's like, hey, who wants to use the Ouija board? I'm like, man, hell no, we ain't playing no Ouija board. Especially what's been going on in this house. So these fools, they start playing the Ouija board. They turn off all the lights and they light the fireplace. So you got to set the mood when you play this. You can't play it with the lights on like this, because people are like, oh man, that ain't the real feeling. And you never know who's pushing and pulling. Like, oh, what is it doing? But while they're playing, it ends up spelling out, he is mine. And they're like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Liv, she storms off. Matt's like, hold on. You just embarrassed me in front of all my friends. Like, damn, boy, you talking about she embarrassed you in front of people, man. She really going through it. But, hey, man, Matt's only worried about Matt and his career at this point. But she goes upstairs and she picks up the baby. Oh, come on, little baby. And then you see the demon pop up in the window. And now she's tough. You'll never take my baby from me. She yelling at it. And I know Matt's like, man, what the hell is going on upstairs? Now, Bernadette, you remember she's the one that actually gave her the little demon. Now, Liv, she's been doing research. And she says he's actually a god. So he's a fertility god. So he shouldn't be doing anything evil. So Bernadette, she's like, well, maybe you should do this little, this little spell. And that will get rid of the spirit within the house. So Liv, she's thinking about it. And at this point, she doesn't have anything to lose. She's like, well, I might as well do it. So let's make it happen. Now, Liv is really wilding out. She's in the living room. She didn't pour sugar on the ground. She got candles up. She's over here cutting her hand, getting blood. Now, if I'm mad, I'm coming in and I'm about to be like, that's it. I'm moving out. You are tripping. But at this point, she's doing anything she can to try to get this demon about the house. And she's like, yeah, I'm alive, speaking in tongues and stuff. But we're going to see if this ritual works. It don't look like the ritual worked, but what did work was that knife went through Matthew's chest when he came in the living room. You shit! You just stabbed me! I would have took that and it would have probably been some problems for her. Because if I would have got stabbed and she pulled that knife straight out before I hit that ground, I would have came across her face. I don't condone hitting women, but this motherfucker just stabbed me. Matt should have been on her ass. But it doesn't look like the ritual worked. Because she ended up in a crazy house. Damn. Matt stabbed up. She in the crazy house. Who watching the baby? Because we don't have a nanny anymore. Would you look at this? Would you look at this? This was all scripted. Matt and Bernadette, they've been working together to get her up out the house. They in here. He's kissing all on her. He's like, man, I had to get stabbed, but it was worth it. We're together now. You remember everybody that came over for dinner? Turned out they were all in on it also. Since they were all in the movies, they came up with the costume designs. One of the girls, she carved up the little things. The other guy was putting the sound in there. So what they're doing is they were trying to get her out the house. Now Matt inherits everything. He's like, look, we won't have to work again. And he's going to pay everybody out of the little inheritance that he has because he owns the house now. Whatever money she did have is going to come directly to him. And I still got to watch this kid, unfortunately. Matt went up there to look at the kid. Turned out there's really a devil, a demon in this house. And he's running through everybody. I'm talking about he's pulling people's guts out. He got her up against the wall, snapped her neck, tore somebody's body in half. He cleaned the house. And Matt's looking like, oh, shit, this is for real. Like, I thought we were playing around. Man, it's ugly for everybody. Matt ends up in jail. Matt becomes a snitch, too. And he tells the police, yeah, we did everything, man. We set her up to get her locked up. And, you know, we did fake demons and stuff. Now all his friends are dead. He's in jail and Liv came to visit him. And she's like, that's messed up, Matt. Why would you do this? And he was like, I'm sorry, you know, I just got beside myself. But, shoot, she gets up in that all white. She leaves him. It turns out Bernadette thought she was giving her a spell to get rid of the demon. But this spell is actually allowing her to make a deal with the demon. So while she was locked up in the insane asylum, you know what I'm saying, she did the other ritual to be able to communicate directly with the fertility god. Now the demon comes to the house. She got the house back to herself. He looks over at the baby. He comes over to her. She's like, you know what I'm saying, we can get you up out of here, but only after you give me another baby. So she's about to have a baby with the fertility god. When I tell you they flipped the script on us in this one, there you go, episode 5 of American Horror Stories. Let me know what you think about it. I like how they changed it. The acting wasn't really that good, but I like how they flipped the script on us. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think. I'm Mode IJ. Thanks for watching. If you like the content on the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.